In this video, I'm gonna go over 8 money habits that keep people broke. And some of these might actually surprise you in terms of what actually might keep people at a lower financial state that they otherwise could be if they just tweaked a few things in their financial situation. Hi, my name is PascalManigat and you're watching the Financial Ownership Podcast. For the first thing that I'm gonna talk about that keeps people poor is paying yourself last. So what do I mean by that? So people a lot of times, like when they first start the month, they'll pay their rent, they'll pay their mortgage, or they'll pay their car notes, and they'll pay all these other expenses, going out and all these things. But they never prioritize saving or investing. And the problem with that is when you don't prioritize it, and it's the last thing that you think about when you put money aside or whatever, or to put money aside or put money towards investments, it's usually never done. So the thing that you probably should be doing is paying yourself first. So making sure you're prioritizing saving and investing first, and then later on with what you have left, then you could use that for expenses, rent, car note, etc., and going out to eat or whatever you want to do with your money. The first thing is making it a priority for yourself to tell yourself that you are going to save money. So put yourself in a position where possibly the first of every single month you're prioritizing saving money into some type of account if you don't have savings yet. Or if you do already have savings, say you have 3 to 6 months saved up already, then you can start thinking about putting money in things like investments and whatnot. And the thing is, there's something known as Parkinsons Law. And what Parkinsons Law means in terms of money is usually what people do is when they make more money, they spend more money. So a lot of times if you're a young person, you're building a career, you're gonna end up making more money in the future. So one thing you might want to prioritize or keep in mind is, are you spending more money in your lifestyle before you're putting more money into investments? So just because you make more money doesn't mean you have to spend more money. So don't get that confused that just because you make more, you have to maybe go on more vacations, go on better vacations, or spend more money on luxury or going out or whatnot. It's okay to prioritize things like future financial planning and putting some extra money aside before you decide to maybe get that upgrade into your lifestyle or whatever. So just because you make more money doesn't mean you have to spend more, and don't get into that habit. Especially if one of your priorities is to get financially ahead, one of the worst things you could do when you make more money is put more money into your lifestyle rather than your investments. Number 2, it's gonna be kind of odd, but your circle of friends. The reason I'm saying that your circle of friends could be a reason why you're not necessarily getting financially ahead is because maybe they have more expensive taste than you do, and you might not necessarily want to go out to certain places or do certain things because you might be more focused on your financial situation, and you want to be more focused on saving and investing money. But if you have friends that want to go on expensive dinners, expensive vacations, and all these type of expensive hobbies that you don't necessarily want to participate in, that could be bad in terms of furthering yourself ahead in your financial situation. So one thing is you want to make sure that you're around a circle of friends. Maybe they have the same values and principles in terms of wanting to build their financial future as you. Maybe you want to be around a circle of friends that talks about business, getting ahead, investing, and other types of topics that have to do with getting ahead financially or getting ahead in life in general. I'm not saying just dump your entire friend group or anything like that, but I just want you to make sure that you audit yourself and audit the people that you're around. And are they honestly making you spend more money? Because if you weren't around them, maybe you wouldn't have went to that expensive dinner or went to that expensive vacation or whatever it is. Don't try to upgrade your lifestyle to live up to the expectations of other people. And number 3, I think is a really big one that people might miss out on, is not understanding your investments. So a lot of times people have different financial goals than you, and which is okay. Everyone is different. Not everyone's gonna have the same financial goal as you. But the thing is, some financial vehicles or some financial tools actually work better than others. So just because your friend is investing in, say, a 401k or Roth account or some other account doesn't necessarily mean you should. So let's say you want to start a business and your friend just wants to maximize retirement income. Those are 2 completely different goals. And to maximize those 2 different goals, you're gonna have to allocate money in 2 different places to get the different results, right? So you wanna make sure that you don't have to understand everything about the financial account that you're investing in, but you have to have a decent understanding of what type of funds you're investing in, how the accounts actually work in terms of taxability in the future, what's going to happen when you withdraw money from that account. Do you actually have access to your money? Because if you actually want to start a business and you have all of your money locked up into a 401k and you can't access it, that's kind of contradictory towards your goals if you want to start a business. So you want to keep that in mind and make sure that you're not just making a plan because your peers around you or have a certain plan. So you just want to make sure that you have a plan that's suitable for you, catered to you, not to other people. And another one to add on to number 3, which it's kind of goes hand to hand, is number 4, you have no clear financial objective. So the thing is, when you have no clear financial objective, you don't really know what to do with your money. Should you put money in a retirement account? Should you put money away for business and things like that? What's your objective? Take some time to maybe reflect on what you actually want in terms of financial situation. Like, what would be ideal for you for your financial future? Would it be to maximize your retirement income in an effective manner? So maybe maximizing in Roth accounts might make sense, but if you have some earlier goals, maybe using things that are more liquid like life insurance accounts or brokerage accounts will give you access to money right away, might be better than locking up your money in the future. So it all depends. Like, be very clear on your objective, and you want to be very decisive when it comes to your finances and not have many questions or question what you're doing in terms of building your financial situation, because the more decisive you are, the more clear and concise you are with your financial goals, the more likely you're going to hit the goals that you actually want. And number 5 would be using credit for everything. So a lot of people are guilty of overusing credit cards. The thing is, credit card interest is very high. I get it. Credit card rewards are very good sometimes. Sometimes they'll give you things like 3% cash back and things like that sort. So if you're responsible of using credit cards and you're paying them off right away, that's a good way to just make some extra money. So there's nothing wrong with using credit cards responsibly, but if you're using it where you're over leveraging debt and maybe you're going into those programs where maybe you're getting a TV and you're subscribing to a payment method where you're paying, say, $20, $30, $50 a month subscription fee to have that TV and to later on pay it off in the future. If you have a lot of plans like that where you're just co-signing debt and you don't really know how much debt you actually have, that could be problematic in the future because you might have bit off a little bit more than you can chew. So pay attention to the credit limits and all the subscriptions that you have in terms of all the things you have to pay in the future in the form of debt to make sure you're not overpaying or biting off more than you can chew. So that's very important because credit card interest debt is one of the highest interest debts that you can get into, and you don't want to get into that situation. And number 6 kind of goes on to number 5 as well, is using debt to buy consumer items. So debt can be a great tool if you know how to use it properly. Using it properly in, say, a real estate, trying to get a real estate property and trying to get rental income, that could be a responsible and intelligent way to use that. Or using it in a properly structured life insurance policy where you're borrowing against your life insurance policy and getting more interest from your life insurance policy. That could be a smart way to use that. But a lot of times, unfortunately, Americans nowadays, they put a lot of money, or when they use debt, a lot of it is consumer items that have no chance of returning in value. Yes, sometimes things like cars and clothes can make you money, but most people aren't buying it for that purpose. They're buying it for recreational purposes. They're not buying it for business purposes. So you want to make sure that if you're using debt, most of the things that you use debt for, or all the things that you use debt for, should be with the objective of making you money in the future. If not, it's most likely not worth using it unless you have to use debt to maybe get a car to get to and from work and you can't afford that. And that's another thing. Make sure that you could get a car that's affordable and not a car that you like. You don't have to get necessarily a Mercedes, a BMW, or some higher class car to increase your car payments. There's no reason to pay unnecessary high car payments or anything like that. And number 7, paying too much in taxes. Whether you're a W-2 employee or 1099 or business owner or whatever you are, there are ways to optimize your taxes. And I go over a lot of different types of strategies in my channel. I go over different types of strategies like using Roth accounts, using cash value life insurance. Even I talk a little bit about how real estate gives you some tax benefits where it gives you depreciation deduction. Like, these are all ways that you could lower your tax bill. And you think about it, income taxes is one of the highest expenses that anyone could pay. And you want to make sure you put yourself in a position where you could pay as little income taxes as possible. Because within income taxes, you have to pay federal tax, you have to pay state tax, you have to pay local tax, you have to pay, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a few others, but if you get what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of heavy taxes associated with income taxes, so you want to put yourself in a position where you're not subject to income taxes in the future, especially with the situation the US government is in, where they're in a situation where they're in high debt, and especially when taxes are historically low in comparison to what they've been in the past. You want to make sure you put yourself in a position where you can pay the lowest taxes possible by taking advantage of things like real estate, Roth accounts, and cash value life insurance accounts, where you can pay less taxes in the future. Well, my last tip of what I'm going to talk about poor money habits for people is not investing soon enough. The thing is, as soon as you get to the point where you're earning consistent income, investing into something has to be a strong objective for you, especially with inflation being so high nowadays, where it's about 6.8% now. You really want to make sure that you're putting your money in places where it has the potential to return higher than tax and inflation. Whether you're investing into your business or the stock market or the real estate market or cryptocurrency market, you want to make sure that you have some consistency in investing into some type of activity which has the potential to grow in the future, and consistently do it. Investing isn't a 1-year thing or a 2-year thing. It's something that you do for your entire life. Whatever project you're focused on or whatever investment objective or financial objective you have, just make sure that you're consistent with it, and you can consistently put money into those objectives so those plans can grow in the future and you can actually see a financial future that you actually want, rather than not putting yourself in this situation where you have the chance to be financially independent. So those are 8 reasons why people in the United States in particular are poor. They kind of get into this cycle of continuously repeating these bad money habits and never actually fix it. So every single week I post financial content. So if you enjoy topics on personal finance, how different financial products work, and how to invest, I talk about that every single week. So feel free to subscribe to this channel. In the description below, there's a link to my link tree. So if you want to ask me a particular question, whether it's about a financial product or how the stock market works or how different types of life insurance accounts work, in the description below, you can book a call with me and ask me a question that you want. And feel free to leave a comment and share with me what do you think is some of the things I might have missed in terms of what keeps people financially behind. I'd love to hear it. Thank you.